give USC credit. They tried to do something that I understood, and I think we missed 3 or 4 of the first 5 shots, and but boy, when he started just backing him in and getting to his game, and then he hit the mid-range, then he hit a 3. It was big for Cohen. He didn't quit playing defense. He didn't quit rebound. In fact, he rebounded the ball better than he's been. And it might be frustrating to some. I was really proud of him on how he handled it and what he did. So, we still got some work to do. We got to get Jackson the ball more. And Coop, too. I mean, we don't want to have 7 shots inside. So we got to do a better job of that. But what I said we needed to do is get back to defending the 3 and running. And I thought Jeremy got it out very well. We pushed the ball very well. We, Divine, considering how sick he was for 5 days, I thought bounced back and did a pretty good job. Kerr came in and did a pretty good job. And Jordan Scott, the big thing now is getting Cam going because he makes some great plays. It's just he needs to play some minutes now. So we got to get him a little more time. And if we do that, we can take another step forward. So it's a quick turnaround again. Concerned about that, but that's where our depth, I think, helps us.
Bagging off, and they're daring him to take the open 3. And you miss him. What does that do to your confidence, and what does it take for him to keep pushing? Because he had I think, a career-high 13 field goal attempts or whatever it was today.
Yeah, well, I didn't tell him keep shooting them. I told him at first, those are good shots, take them. And then I just said, if they want to come off that far, then just back them in, which he did a much better job of, got to the free throw line. I said, you've got to do a job on the offensive glass, get some points that way. You still got to play good defense. No complaining, nothing. You'd all have a hard time doing what he did tonight, and I give him a lot of credit for what he did, how he did it, and it was a good lesson for some of our other guys too. So it's kind of neat that did he end up the leading scorer? Yes. Wow. He ended up the leading scorer, that's great, and Jax, did some good things and hit some good threes again. Jeremy gives him some great passes. I thought, Jeremy, get 7 assists. He had that 1 turnover that I didn't think was one. But all in all, I thought Cohen did what Cohen needed to do. And, yeah, some people might start playing him differently. He'll keep working on that shot. It'll get better. And tonight wasn't good early. But he found a way, and that's all that matters.
Hey, Tom, so if we had to categorize tonight's game, would it be a payback from a year ago, bounce back from a couple nights ago, or another night in the Big Ten?
All 3. We were disappointed how we played out there last year, and I think that's a really talented team. You watch them warm up, and you say, I just kept looking for magic. I thought that there was, they're big, and they're athletic, and they've got a nice team. Now, they struggled the other night, and I'm sure he wasn't happy with some guys, changed his lineup. I give him respect for that, whatever the reasons were. But after that start, because it was kind of an ugly start, I thought we did a lot of good things in the second half. We kept building on it, and that was really good for us. And, ended up holding them to 32% and 17 from the 3. Is really important for me. Scoring a few more baskets, shooting better from the field. We missed some 3s, but some of those were his 3 or 4 early. And 7 for 22, it's not ridiculous.
Tom, ideally speaking, tonight your starters, your big 4, average about 25, 26 minutes a game. Is this where you kind of want to see that rotation where you can get other guys in there as well?
The guy that I want to get more minutes for right now is Cam. Other than that, I think it's decent. I think you're going to see Coop and Cohen and Jackson, Jeremy up a little bit. Coop played, 27, Jeremy 28, Cohen 24, Jack's 24 and a half. Maybe a minute or two more, but it'd be nice if we could keep guys like that, because I think you're going to see that Cam Ward is going to, I just have a real feel that he's going to break out here. And Jesse was okay too, but Cam's kind of more ready to play right now. He gives us another dimension, because at 6'8", he can guard a lot of people. He's athletic. He can rebound. Keeps working on his shot. But I really think he's going to be a positive influence since the hand, Remember now, before he hurt the hand, I think he had 18 and 9 against Arkansas, and he was one of the better players on the floor. So hopefully we can get him back.
I want to ask you a little more about Cam. There was he gets the rebound and the two-handed dunk over like through a defender. That part seems to be back. So what's left for him? Is it sort of the offensive shooting, that sort of being comfortable with the ball in his hands? Or?
I think just comfortable, yeah. He didn't practice for a week and a half when it happened. Then he started practicing on and off, and he was wearing a heavy, it was taped and held heavily. Now we've cut that down to almost nothing, and I think he's more comfortable. One thing Cam can do is he can put the ball on the floor, and the injury hurt that a little bit. So what do I think he can do? I think he can do a lot more. Plus, I think he can run the court. We're going to get a lot more out of Cam. I really believe that. I think that's one of the most encouraging things about the night, because I saw a couple of things, and, he made a couple mistakes too, and he knows it. And then, he just needs reps. In fairness to him, that time off did hurt him a little bit. It hurt us also.
Coach here in the back, wondering about Jackson. In his first 3 years at MSU, he attempted 56 three-pointers. This season, he's already at 54, and he's shooting 50%. Is that stat specifically about this season just the work ethic and the success that he's now seeing on the floor due to all the work that he's put in behind closed doors, or what's that evolution been like for him?
Yeah, Jackson, I think if you ask the players, is probably the most hardest working guy I got. I mean, he maxes out on the number of shots a week. He's always practice. There's never a bad practice for him. He's earned everything he's got, okay? And, once in a while, like tonight, I thought a couple times underneath he was trying to, but I didn't realize he only got, we got to get him more shots, and he does. Jeremy's done a great job on any of those pick and pops. He's hitting them right where he needs to hit them. And they appreciate that too. But, I think still a couple of things. I'd like to get 65 shots up a game so we can get everybody more. Tonight we had a lot of people took shots, Kurt took 8. Devine took 6. Trey had a couple. Jesse had a couple. So it was really stretched out. It won't normally be like that, I think. But Jeremy, I thought, did a really nice job, too, of looking for his shot. He missed a couple wide-open threes. He's been hitting those. So I feel good about where we are, because our defense and our toughness and our rebounding looked like it was back, and I didn't see that this past weekend.
Wanted to know about the stretch at the beginning where you bring Jeremy to the bench after you've already got Devine going on there, and then you bring him back to run the point. Because that seemed to really be a spark when he came back in after the media timeout, right out of the gate, running point. What's maybe the evolution of him with the ball, with Devine running as the backup there?
No. I mean, we got Devine where we want him. I'll coach my team, and you right to...
No. I mean, using him. You used him kind of as the second guy running the
Yeah, we
offense.
did a little bit there for the stretch, because I had to have Jeremy and I had a little discussion about some things, and so we wanted to do that right then while he was in there. And he did fine there, but he is one of our best shooters, and I need him to get some shots. So I like the rotation we got right now, and I'll play whoever,
I'm just wondering, has he grown though, playing with at the one? I mean, he played a lot last year at Miami too at the one, right?
Yeah, and I didn't think he was great at the one for a lot of time. And tonight, has he grown tonight? If one night is of probably 10 minutes at it, I got every day, But the problem is he hasn't been practicing, and he got sick. And as our doctor said, there's the 24-hour flu. the 48-hour flu, the 1-week flu, and I guess there's a 10-day one. And I never heard of that, so it must be medical, I don't know what, but I never heard of a 10-day one. But he's been laid up for a while, so, I mean, he's going to play some point. He's going to play some too, but the way I've got it when I start him is we can rotate some people in there. And, Jeremy's going to play more minutes than he played tonight normally. And it's been really good because Denham can play a couple minutes here and there. And we can practice that way. What was happening is we were practicing with, we needed his shooting for Divine, and then we had to play him at the point, and he wasn't getting comfortable either place. So, we're going to keep doing it the way we're doing it. It's a good question. But I wouldn't look at 8 minutes in a game as why I should change things. So right now I'll keep doing it. Maybe it'll change, and maybe it won't.
At different points today, it seemed like you were having animated but constructive conversations with both Jeremy and Jackson. What were those conversations about, and what value do those types of conversations have for you as a coach?
You believe it or not, I think we're going out to dinner tonight. I asked him if he wanted to go out to dinner, where we'd like to go, and I didn't agree with the place he wanted to go, so I told him he was full of it, and he kind of agreed with it. And I'll be very honest with you. Some things happened at Nebraska, as you all knew, and I just don't want anything happening. I want a player celebrating with his teammates. I don't want him celebrating to somebody else. And a couple times that seemed to happen tonight with a couple different players. So I was just trying to nip that in the bud, because I don't want that. And I need Jeremy to the greatest captains and the greatest leaders and the greatest quarterbacks rally everybody on his team, okay? And then they rally the fans. I'm cool with that. I don't need anybody coaching the other team. And I think at times, Jackson, I mean, he should get the ball more. But, the opponents do something to you too. We had two teams that just doubled him every time he looked at it. So it was a little more difficult, but we're getting him the ball in different places. And you know what? There's nothing more fun than when a player comes at me, because that means I right away say, that SOB really cares, man. And so I'll chat with him for a while. He'll chat back. And I'll walk away laughing, saying, okay, we're making some progress. No big deal.
Locker room after the Nebraska loss, it looked like Jeremy took it pretty hard and was hard on himself about that.
Yeah.
But today doesn't lack any bit of confidence, played a pretty darn good game. The ability to get back on the horse and sort of flush it, how have you seen him develop that, and how important is it for your quarterback
Well, you saw
to be able
Cohen
to do
do it
that?
tonight at an unbelievable level, because that was Jeremy, he was just upset with himself. That's a good thing too, guys. That's a good thing. If you're a competitive guy, you should be upset with yourself. And if, getting back on the horse, I mean, that's why it's good to fail. That's why it's really good to fail once in a while, because then you check your whole card and, can I do that? And we're a society of everybody gets a trophy. And so when somebody fails, you know what? I didn't say nothing to him either way. On the next day in practice, I did. I think it's really good that people realize that, you know what? I didn't play as good as I should have. You know what? I didn't coach as good as I should have. Those are good things, and we don't let that happen in our screwed up society right now. So I was proud of Jeremy. He bounced back. He was really upset with those two plays down there, but he did some other pretty good things. And tonight, him and I worked a little bit on his shot last night. He did a nice job. It was all good, all good. Good question and a good average answer.
Tom, you didn't have much prep time with that late return from Nebraska, but for a team that big, and they were leading the nation in free throw attempts, more than 31 a game, they only shot 16. How much emphasis was defend without fouling?
It was the number one thing on the scouting report, number two, number three. It was number one thing at halftime. It really was. I mean, we made a big deal about that the whole time for two reasons. One, we tried to pack it in a little bit because we knew that Assir kid is a good player. And, we were afraid of getting our bigs in foul trouble. So we kind of helped a lot off him. Saudi had the scouting report, and Doug does such a good job with the defense. Those guys worked together, and I thought did a hell of a job. And I thought we ran some pretty good stuff offensively, too, and got some chances. So the defending without fouling and not giving up threes that we've been giving up in the last 4 games was two of the emphasis. And playing with a different toughness and aggressiveness, because I thought we lost a little bit of that.
Did you run a little better tonight, too? 25 fast break points?
No question. Jeremy did a good job pushing it. But running usually starts with defending and then rebounding. You run better when you rebound the ball than you do when you take it out of the basket. So I thought we put some things together. It's one more game, but it's the first Big Ten game at home. Start this. Now we got 2 more games at home. It's a good way to start it off.
You talked about Cam Ward being close to coming out, but your other freshman, Jordan Scott, he seems to be playing with a little more confidence recently. I think early in the season it seemed like he would have space to shoot, but would pass it up, but seemed to let that fly a little bit more tonight, and then also just seems to do a lot of little things well when he's on the court. I mean, he had your most minutes off the bench tonight. Can you just kind of speak to his development?
I think Jordan Scott has been one of our unsung heroes for a freshman. He's done a lot of really good things. He's been close to starting. We just felt like we didn't want to put that pressure on him, but he is playing more minutes. Him and Cam, our roommates, they're going to be a dynamic duo here for a while, and I think you're going to see both of them. But Jordan, he's guarding pretty good. He's got a beautiful shot, and he just for a while there it was always short, and he's just going through the process of getting better as a freshman. I think he came back from Christmas a lot more comfortable and confident, and it's showing. So yeah, we've been really happy with Jordan.
Tom, one more over here. What did Paul Davis say to get booted tonight?
I love Paul Davis. I really do. He's one of my favorite guys. He's always calling and doing things, but what he said, he should never say anywhere in the world, and that ticked me off. So just because it's 20 years later, I'm going to have to call him tomorrow and tell him what I thought of it. And you know what he'll say? I screwed up, Coach. I'm sorry. So he kind of got after the official, and he was 150% wrong. And for a guy like me to 150% agree with the official, it's almost illegal. So I feel bad that Paul did that, because he's been a guy that comes back a lot, and we got to keep him coming back. Okay, we made a mistake, but he's been really good with our players too. Like in the summer, he comes up and helps work a guy out or just around, and he just Judd Heathcote used to always tell me that sooner or later the game makes fools of us all. Once in a while, the game makes fools of our fans. And definitely it's made a fool of me more than a couple of times. So I check myself once in a while, or I get calls from guys, and I'm going to have to call him and tell him what I thought. And the only good news is he's been so good. He's going to agree 100%. So it was nothing when I said he shouldn't have said it. He just shouldn't say what he said. But it wasn't, it was. Let's not get carried away that it wasn't something racial, it wasn't something sexual, it wasn't, so it was just the wrong thing to say. And I'll leave it at that. Did you have one more?
Actually, the PD question.
The PD question, that was it? Yeah, but I don't want to discourage him either. I want to tell him he was wrong, like I would my son, my daughter, like I would my player, like I would myself, but I need Paul Davis here. Paul Davis is a very important part of this program because he went through tough times when he was here, and he's really been a good advocate of telling kids how they got to, deal with the process and that. So all good with Paul. He just made a mistake tonight, and the crowd again was great. The alumni zone was phenomenal. I guess we have another one this week, so give our marketing people more and more and more credit. I mean, this just doesn't happen everywhere. We just take so many things for granted here. I walked out tonight, I go, wow, where in the hell does this happen? And it doesn't. So thank God to all those people. Thank God to Paul. Just be careful what you say, and appreciate you guys. So see you on Thursday.